Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sarah Schultz. I am a realtor in the Reno, Nevada area, serving Reno, Sparks, Carson City, and all the surrounding areas like Fallon, Fernley, Dayton, Minden, Carson, Gardnerville, Genoa, all of it. I can help you buy or sell real estate in all of these places. But on today's video, I thought it would be fun to debunk some Reno real estate myths. So without further ado, let's dive in. Myth number one is that Reno is just too expensive for first-time home buyers. And I'm gonna debunk that, but I'm not gonna be tone deaf because it is expensive here. It's a lot more expensive than similar cities of similar size. However, it's not impossible. You just have to be committed to the cause. You have to have an agent in your corner. You have to have somebody who's very skilled at being strategic with how offers are written, with researching properties, all of that. So I'm gonna dive into the nitty-gritty with that just a little bit, but I didn't want to just come off tone deaf like anyone can afford to buy here, because that's just not the case. But with that, there are some nuances that are worth kind of exploring. So the truth is that prices have risen, and that's true in most places in the country. Reno's not unique, but there are a lot of driving factors here. First of all, that we are a neighboring state to California, where there seems to be a mass exodus, specifically a mass exodus of remote workers who have sky-high salaries and are able to afford to buy here, and that has driven prices up. We also have an extreme scarcity issue in our market, and I think in most markets in the US, which is causing a lot of tension between buyers and sellers. It's making it really challenging for buyers and really competitive, but it is also driving up price tags. So I get all that, and I'm not trying to just brush all that under the rug. So those things are true, and those things do make it a challenge, especially coupled with mortgage interest rates being as high as they are. A lot of agents are like, they were way higher in the 80s. Yeah, that's true, but price tags were so much lower. I mean, you could buy a house back then for $100,000. So, you know, the 14% interest rate or whatever it was a lot easier to swallow than, you know, the 6 to 7% interest rate on a $600,000 home. So anyway, I just wanted to get all that out so that you guys don't think I'm just like the kind of agent who is just pressuring people to buy who maybe shouldn't be making a move like that. That said, my last video was all about neighborhoods that are ideal for first-time home buyers. So I would say go check that out, because obviously I think the biggest issue for most, not all, but most first-time buyers is affordability. And so in that video, I go through all of my top picks for neighborhoods that would be ideal for buyers. And, you know, a lot of that was kind of created and curated with the thought of affordability being at the forefront. Myth number two kind of goes hand in hand with this whole affordability first-time buyer conundrum, and that is that you have to have 20% down to buy a home. And that's simply just false. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different loan products and programs out there. I mean, if you combined all the lenders and all the lending companies in our market, you would have so many options. But 20%, I think a lot of people have the misconception that that's what it takes to buy a house. And obviously, if you're looking at our median sales price of $600K and you're like, oh, 20% down, I'll never have that kind of money. And then closing costs and costs of inspections. And if you want to remodel or make updates, I mean, forget it. I see how this is a challenge, and I am here to tell you, my friends, that you do not need that 20% down. Many first-time buyers are using FHA loans, which only require 3.5% down. That is a lot easier to bite off than 20%. Now, keep in mind, I don't want to like sweep this under the rug. I'm all about disclosure, transparency, painting a real picture so that you can be informed. With an FHA loan, your monthly payment is also going to have to include PMI. Since you're only putting 3.5% down and not 20% down, the bank views you as a little bit bigger of a liability because you have less skin in the game. The PMI kind of covers them covering you in case you default, so that you don't default on your loan. I've also had like a random influx of VA buyers lately. VA buyers, thank you for your service in our country. If you are a veteran, you may qualify for a VA loan, which requires 0% down, which is great. So with that, there are a few caveats. You know, there is going to be a little bit more of an intense appraisal inspection. There are certain things that just will not fly with a VA loan. For example, here's one that we see all the time. In Nevada, you have to have earthquake straps around your water heater. Literally a $5 part at Home Depot. I've had to install them myself. It just secures the water heater tank so that if there's an earthquake, the whole thing doesn't explode and flood your house. So there are some caveats. You also have to have a pest inspection if you're using a VA loan. So those are things to keep in mind, but it is a fantastic program if you are a veteran and you happen to be a first-time buyer or second or third. The thing is, you can only have one VA loan at a time. So if you already purchased a home with a VA loan, you've got to sell it before you can take out another VA loan. Also, it is worth noting that local lenders often have really great grant programs or special financing for Nevada residents. Myth number 3 is that it's better to wait for prices to drop. I mean, literally, it's not. Prices might slightly correct, but overall, over the course of time, yes, there have been some times where prices have dropped drastically, but eventually they go back up. And I think it's really important to point out that there's typically a cost for waiting. Timing the market can be extremely, extremely risky. And also, like they always say, it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. But what they're really saying is all that time that you are waiting, you could just be building equity, right? And leveraging that equity to maybe make another purchase, or if you're getting into your first starter home and you want to move up eventually, all of that time that you're just paying rent, you're essentially not only not paying your own mortgage, you're paying someone else's mortgage. That's money you're never going to see again. And I am not here to rent shame you. That's not the vibe, but I'm just pointing out to you that there is a significant cost for waiting. And just to go back to the whole prices sometimes do dip and correct, I will tell you that in our specific market, we are a little bit more sheltered than in other places just because of our rapidly developing everything. Rapidly developing infrastructure, job market, economy as a whole. We have a lot of factors here at play that are unique to Reno that are continuing to drive home prices up, and that includes scarcity, right? There are far less homes available than there are people who need to buy them. Myth number 4 is that you don't need a realtor in a hot market. Wrong. The truth is that negotiation skills, contract knowledge, and local insights matter more in a hot market than they do almost in any market. You need somebody in your corner who knows exactly what they're looking at. And also, you don't just need any realtor, you need a realtor who is boots on the ground, working in this market day in, day out. Not mentioning any names, but I'm just saying. Not to mention that a skilled agent is going to be able to save you thousands, maybe tens of thousands or more in repairs, concessions, and possibly by knowing the market, understanding a strategy to get what you need out of the other party. Myth number 5 is that Reno homes don't need home inspections because we live in a dry climate. Don't ever fall for that one. I don't know if you guys know this about me. My dad is a retired home inspector, and so I take due diligence very, very seriously. And no matter what, I don't care if the house you're buying is on the moon, you absolutely need to get at least a home inspection, but hopefully also pest, potentially HVAC, potentially fireplace and chimney, if that's something that exists in your home. If your home is on sewer, you maybe want to have the sewer line inspected. If you have a septic tank, absolutely get that checked out. We have radon in our market, depending on which area you're in. It's odorless, and it's very, very harmful, and it's invisible, so you won't know if your home has radon without a test. Definitely want to look into that, or at least talk through it with your advisor, your real estate professional. Definitely don't skip out on inspections. And not only that, but even if the stuff that is uncovered is stuff you don't really care about, it's always an opportunity to get a credit from the seller. Whether or not you use that credit to actually make those repairs, nobody cares, but it's money in your pocket that you are not having to pay for. So take that opportunity. Do not miss out on that. Myth number 6 is that you have to overbid to win in the Reno market. The truth is that while some homes do go for over asking, that's not even close to true for all of them. And obviously it depends on the market conditions, right? But a lot of homes are overpriced to begin with because listing agents don't know how to manage their clients or how to price a listing or run comps, whatever the situation may be. Sometimes homes are overpriced and the market is gonna speak volumes when that happens. And so there may be an opportunity to get a good deal on something. If the listing has been sitting for a while, perhaps the seller's antsy, perhaps that's your time to swoop in and make that lowball offer and put a deal together because maybe they're desperate, or maybe they are in contract to buy a home and they need the funds from the home of interest to finance that home. There are all kinds of reasons why and how buyers win in this market. And let me tell you, I am here to put that strategy in place for you. Myth number 7 is that all of Reno is the same. Oh boy, that's a big one, but it's just simply not true. There are so many different kinds of homes, inventory within the single family. We have bungalows, we have new construction, we have all kinds of different homes. There are also condos, townhouses, there's different neighborhoods. You've got the urban feel of Midtown and downtown. You've got the golf club, country club life out in Somerset. You've got the quiet family neighborhoods in South Reno, Damani Ranch. There are so many different places within Reno where you could live such a dramatically different lifestyle, so that is just absolutely false. Your neighborhood choice truly does need to be driven by your lifestyle choice, right? So just make sure that your realtor is very well aware of your lifestyle and what you're hoping for life to look like wherever it is that you are planning to shop. Last but not least, myth number 8 is that selling a home or listing a home for sale in winter is just a waste of time. It's not. I mean, maybe it might be less than ideal. You might have more buyers in the market in summertime, but hey, you're also likely to have a lot more listings and a lot more competition. Right now, as I'm recording this, we are on the brink of summer and there is more inventory on our market right now than I have ever seen. Buyers have so many more choices. It used to be for the last few years, a buyer would fly in to work with me. We'd go house hunting for maybe a day, 2 days. Now it's really tough to see everything in 1 or 2 days. And a lot of times buyers are having to make choices about what are their top priorities that they want to see, or maybe coming in for more than a day or 2 at a time just because that's how long it takes to see everything. And the real fact of the matter is that serious buyers are always looking. There are always going to be life events that compel somebody to want to buy a home, right? Maybe they need to relocate for work. Maybe there's a death in the family or divorce or something that's like compelling the need for somebody to buy. Those reasons don't go away just because it's January or February. So if that's the time for you to list and you can't avoid it, you shouldn't shy away from it. We just may have to put a really carefully curated, thought out strategy in place to make sure that you get what you need from your sale. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you. If you have any questions about the Reno market or the lifestyle here, I would love to be of service for you. If you're thinking about making a move in real estate and you have questions, go ahead and book a free strategy call with me. There's a link in the show notes to do that. It's no obligation, just a chance for us to connect, see if we might be a good fit to work together, and at the very least, get your questions answered and put a strategy in place for you. And if you haven't already, please smash that like and that subscribe button. I put out new videos every single week about the Northern Nevada market, Reno Sparks lifestyle, and of course, all things to do with buying and selling real estate. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.